Here are 10 things you've probably been doing wrong all your life. Number 10. Tipping your bartender or waiter. When you go out for some drinks, perhaps you open a tab and pay after you've had your fill of drinks. That's great, but let's switch up the order of operations a little bit. In most cases, we assume you are a generous tipper and leave a hefty gratuity before you leave. But seriously, what's the point in doing that? Here's the trick. Tip before the service. Everyone sits around waiting for the check to come to throw in their double the tax tip and don't even think about trying to have an image at the restaurant or the bar. Do the opposite. Throw down a nice and big 40% tip before, and I guarantee you won't be waiting in line for a drink. That bartender will have your back the rest of the night. Besides, it just seems like a friendly thing to do for people who are working for tips while helping you with your buzz and your game. And that hefty tip you're gonna leave anyways is gonna maximize your fun. Also, if you notice, you can't exactly tip first with a credit card. When you're out, always have cash. If you're running around trying to pay for dinner and bar tabs with credit cards to earn that 1 to 2% reward points, you're losing out. Huge. The biggest error when it comes to fun is losing momentum in the night and stopping the flow of fun. There is nothing worse than waiting and watching the bartender or waiter fiddle around for 10 to 15 minutes trying to find your card mixed in with the masses of credit cards. Save the cards for the big purchases, such as bottle service at the club. Number 9. Eating your Chinese takeout. Chinese takeout has become a staple dinner choice for Americans all over because, it's awesome. So, it makes perfect sense. Spring rolls, fried rice, General Tso's chicken, lo mein, and don't forget dumplings. The beautiful options seem endless. But eating it on the run can always be a tad awkward. True, those white paper containers can house an impressive amount of food, but they can be kind of awkward to eat out of. Well, as it turns out, the makers of those containers have already thought of all that. This whole time, they've been selling us amazing Chinese food in these nifty little containers that unfold into plates. Unfolding the plate allows you to eat your food from a wider surface with virtually no cleanup. Now your noodles and chicken will be more evenly distributed, giving you an overall more enjoyable experience. Number 8. Cooking eggs. Eggs are the staple for breakfast, and they're one of the most versatile foods imaginable. You can scramble them, make all kinds of omelets, or put them in your breakfast sandwich. But, as always, there is room for improvement. If you want the creamiest, fluffiest, and best tasting scrambled eggs, then look no further than the Gordon Ramsay method. This demanding but amazing chef can seriously work some magic in the kitchen, and his eggs are no exception. I doubt that he's the first to come up with this method since food science has been around for longer than he's been a chef, but Gordon's the man, so we'll just call it his method. Here's what you do. You take your eggs, add some butter, and stir the eggs on low heat the entire time until the eggs are solid. Add your favorite seasonings and toppings last. Voila! The best scrambled eggs you've ever had is served. This may sound simple, but seriously, once you've had this, breakfast will never be the same again. Number 7. Dealing with bouncers. I'm gonna assume you guys definitely have gone to the clubs a few times, or maybe just the bars that always has a line out the door and requires a bouncer. It for sure helps knowing how to deal with these guys because most of the time these guys are huge and they wear shirts that fit way too tight. Unless they're named Dalton. How do you get bouncers to be on your side at your favorite spot? A lot of people's impulse is to grease them with a $20 bill to skip the line, which actually will work most of the time because, come on, who's gonna turn down a 20 working as a bouncer? The thing is, you're not building any sort of relations with this guy, and it'll even be worse when you're bringing in 2 or 3 other bros with you. Instead, do the opposite of what most people do. Notice the trend here? Wait in line patiently and slip him that $20 bill at the end of the night instead. This makes sure he'll remember you, and next time you go to the spot, you'll easily get in, and he won't get mad at all if you're bringing in a couple of your bros. Just make sure you show him your appreciation from time to time. Also, if you ever get into any sticky situations, you'll know he's got your back. Number 6. Washing your jeans. Everyone has their own style, a look that's uniquely their own, and chances are, Whatever that unique style is, it involves a go-to pair of jeans, or maybe a few pairs. With that in mind, it's often a challenge washing jeans. They seem to fade in the wash, but who wants to walk around in dirty jeans? Don't worry, my friends, there is a solution, and it involves freezing your jeans once a month. You'll want to wrap them up in saran wrap or a huge Ziploc bag first, but once you do that, stick them in the freezer next to frozen food items and let science do the rest. Doing this kills the odor-causing bacteria in your jeans. While this won't be necessary for all jeans, it certainly helps for those extra nice ones that just don't hold up in the washer. Number 5. Microwaving leftovers. The average American is eating out more than ever, and there are almost always leftovers in the fridge. Most of the time, you're gonna be microwaving those leftovers, unless you're feeling ambitious and you want to reheat that food on the stovetop or in the oven. The problem is, whenever you're microwaving your food, it just never seems to heat evenly, right? There seems to be spots that are lukewarm, and then you get to a spot that's hot as which burns your mouth and tongue. Well, here's the solution. Most people don't know that the strongest area in the microwave is on the outer edges and not the center of the microwave. The next time you finish off dinner from the night before, don't just pile your food onto a plate and stick it in the middle of the microwave. Instead, make a ring with your food along the outside of the plate. Or if you have a bowl, stick the bowl on the outer rotating edge. This allows the heat to be evenly distributed through the food, something your mouth and tongue will be thanking you for later. Number 4. Eating lots of small meals for weight loss. Losing weight can be pretty difficult for anyone at any age if you don't know what you're doing. First of all, what's the balance of macronutrients you're supposed to eat? Second, as an evolutionary function, our bodies are conditioned to store fat easily. That combination makes weight loss very challenging. Some people have tried eating 6 meals a day to help them shed that weight because of the notion of having to eat to keep your metabolism up. While different eating methods do work for different fitness goals, for losing weight, intermittent fasting is one of the best diets. Intermittent fasting is when you go without eating for hours at a time. While the length of time varies from person to person, getting your calories in within a 6-hour window is the most popular method that works for most people. There's a lot of research out there that show intermittent fasting and fasting in general to be very beneficial for weight loss and overall health. Number 3. Doing number 2. Who does number 2 work for? Well, it works for you, and you could probably be doing it better. It can be a time of quiet reflection, such as a moment to yourself during a busy day at work. It can also be an intense experience that's unfortunate for you and anyone else unlucky enough to wander into the bathroom after you. Whatever the case, there's a more biologically correct way to do number 2. It's called the squat poop, and humans did it for thousands of years before the invention of the modern toilet. In fact, animals do it too, and health experts say this is the healthier way to unload. By placing a footstool beside your toilet, you can place your feet on that, and doctors say this will prevent hemorrhoids, constipation, and diarrhea. While it may not be as comfortable as you're used to, people did do it for thousands of years, and it is the consensus of medical experts as the correct way to go. Number 2. Using deodorant. The benefits of deodorant are obvious, so I'm not going to waste any time going over them. However, with a number of chemicals in your deodorant, studies have linked its use to skin irritation, allergies, and in more serious cases, Alzheimer's disease or even breast cancer. So how do you avoid these symptoms without smelling terrible? Try baking soda, because seriously, it's probably the most versatile product in the world. Put some baking soda in a small container and mix it with just a little bit of water until it becomes a paste. Rub that paste under your pits and it will be the best deodorant you've ever used. Give it a shot and let us know how it goes. Number 1. Never failing. Let's face it, losing sucks. It's never fun, and it leaves us feeling inadequate. But, along with teaching us important lessons, it's also a byproduct of people who take risks. You can't win what you don't put in the middle. Yeah, it's kind of cliche, but it's definitely true. Any successful self-made business person risks something along the way. The point is, You can play it safe and never fail, but you never live up to your potential either. Failures are inevitable, but just think about what Thomas Edison once said. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Check out these next videos.